Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Smarter Business Podcast, where we talk about video professionals who are using video in interesting ways to grow and operate their businesses. Today, we have Kris Jones of Kris Jones Media, who's going to talk to us about live streaming videos specifically. If you like the information that you hear today, please subscribe, share, and review this podcast. Thank you for tuning in.
I am good. Thank you very much for having me on your show, Neil. Um, I have been kind of out of commission for 2, 3 weeks. Had a tonsillectomy on the 14th of January. And as soon as I woke up, I'm like, even talking, even saying hello to anybody was a chore. And it took a while to get my voice back, but I am glad to be here. I really am. It's comeback time, baby.
Yeah. Well, that's why we thought it would be a good time to have you on, and just to, what you do really fits what we're trying to do this month with this
Sure.
podcast and with the Creator Network. And
Hmm.
it's a chance to, like you said, come back and start, letting getting back at it, right? And kicking it off with a live cast. So
Well,
go
live
ahead, Kris.
streaming. Well, I was just going to say that it's great that you chose to do a live stream, and live streaming is your theme this month for the vidwheel creator network, because that is one of the things I love doing. In fact, I have one scheduled later this week, actually, too. I'm coming back. I used to do one or two a week, and then all of a sudden nothing, but I had to rest a bit. But now I'm going to pretend like nothing happened, and we're going to come back and do it.
Well, you got to get rested up, right? You don't want to come back
Yeah.
too early and re-injure. So I'm glad that you're on the mend, and that it's working out with our our schedule too. So it's
Cool.
all
Hey,
great.
some things are just meant to be, Neil.
I
That's what it
guess
is.
I guess we'll call this destiny or something like that. But
Oh, remember that movie? I Am Your Density. Back to the future.
so yeah.
Anyway.
Well, with that, Kris, I'll give you a chance to go ahead and introduce yourself and what you do. We've already mentioned live streaming. What else do you do? And give us an intro to your business.
Well, what I do basically is I help entrepreneurs, companies, CEOs create engaging video content for their businesses. Basically, I'm a storyteller, and I help the entrepreneur or the CEO or any business person really who wants to tell their story, or any actually doesn't have to be a business necessarily either. It could be an individual. I have a few clients that are, it's not business related, it's personal stories, and those too. Basically, it's all about telling the story. If you have a story and you make it compelling enough, people basically buy into it. That's not meant to, I don't mean dollars, but in their minds, they buy into it and they become engaged. And that's what I enjoy doing, creating stories via video and my voice too at some point. So that's what I do. I tell stories.
Excellent. And I usually ask people to boil it down to one sentence, but I think you kind of already did that. The stories and the corporate. And so I'm going to let you slide on that next question. And we've got to rest your voice for the rest of the podcast anyway, right? So yeah, I mean, we've already touched on it a little bit, but part of the reason that I wanted to have you on this month, and that it was such a good setup, was that our monthly theme in the vidwheel creator network, and something that we try to tie into all these podcasts, is live streaming.
Mm.
For my end of things, I love live streaming because it cuts out post production. It's
Hmm.
real. It gives you a chance to kind of, prove your professional knowledge and get your personality across and everything like that. So it's like really a big trust building exercise with your audience. I don't know. What are your first thoughts on live streaming? Are there any real benefits to it?
There's lots of benefits. The fact that you can't go back and edit something you said or edit a mistake, or if some Look, if I drop something in the background, it's all very authentic, and I think the audience relates to it more than a cut up, edited, obviously edited podcast. Now, sometimes you have to. Sometimes you get a guest, and all you hear is pause, what, you hear that stuff, and yeah, well, you can in post production you can make that sound, you can make them sound good, and really, and the audio is like if you just listen to the audio, it sounds like they're, but if you watch the video, it's like
Yep.
that stuff, you know, but and that's fine. Some guests you need to do that with, but even in a live setting, when you get a guest like that, it's authentic as long as you can, as long as you as the host can keep them engaged,
Kind of get them
and
back. Yeah.
you have to
Keep them
steer them
on
back
track.
sometimes. And there's nothing wrong with having a set of questions and never getting to any of them. I
Mhm.
mean, you have to be, and I've heard some hosts that just no matter what the guest says, they just go right down the list and they don't really even listen. But the best podcasts are the ones that where the host just flows it, lets it flow. In my own particular style, in my own podcast called "The Bo Knows Who Is Changing the World," um, I have notes on the guests. I know what they've done. I know their qualifications, and I ask them a few questions, and whatever they say, I um, I go with that and follow with that. And sometimes we get to everything, sometimes we don't. But authenticity in a live setting, authenticity is the best thing about it. And plus, you can real time engagement with comments too. Sometimes it depends on that sort of thing. So I guess I talked a lot there, but there's a lot going. That's what I do for a living, You're gonna talk. You guys might just talk. All right. Um, where was I?
Talking a lot. No, that was a great answer. Authenticity is the primary takeaway there, and that's a huge piece, right? And
Yeah.
that helps with trust building. That helps get people get to know you
Yes,
in a
that's it.
more complete way than they can with like really refined messaging. Um, and I'm going to go back to my notes based on what you're. You said you don't necessarily use them. I'm going back to them because I don't want to forget that. So we say our monthly theme is live streaming on the VCN, and
Mhm,
what comes with that, even for the public, even for people who are not part of the creator network, is a
mhm,
couple of Zoom meetups, which are these evening meetings. Kris has been to a bunch of them. Kris has even spoken at one,
yeah,
um, where we learn from industry experts and we get a chance to do a little bit of networking and stuff too. I did
right,
just want to let everybody in the audience know that our next one is on February 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern, and it features Kris Hughes. He's
mhm.
doing a presentation called The Benefits of Live Streaming for Your Personal Brand. And
Ooh, yeah,
then again on the 24th is our second one for the month. We do two of them per month. And I'm actually going to be presenting myself very much on the setup that you're or people who are watching the live stream are seeing right now. It's a
mhm,
combination of OBS Ninja plus OBS, and you can create a high production value video podcast with no post production required necessarily.
right.
The title to that is to be determined. So I'll let everybody know when that comes out. But the link for uh, Kris's talk on the 10th, the RSVP link is in the comments for this LinkedIn Live, and we'll have it in the
Sure.
comments or the
Personal,
description on YouTube and the audio versions as well. So
personal, personal brand. He's talking
yes,
about personal branding
he's talking about personal branding. That's
video.
your cup of tea, right?
Well, video and personal brand.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm surprised I didn't mention it earlier. I was just I'll go too busy being animated, I guess. Um, but I guess maybe that's my personal brand. Just kind of nonchalant, but getting it done. Uh, your guest will no doubt talk about the importance of video with personal branding because it makes you personal.
Yes.
It makes you very. The personal part is the thing. It makes you very personal. Yeah, we can go into post production and edit this and that and make me sound different, but that's not authentic. This what we're doing now live is authentic. So personal branding and live video go hand in hand, and I think I'll be tuning in for that one for sure.
Yeah, we're working on our personal brands right now, whether we want to be or not, right?
Yes, that's right.
Well, and with all that, I do want to thank you for helping us kick off this month, right? You are the live stream guy that I thought of when it was
Mhm.
time, and then I heard about the tonsils and I was like, "Oh boy, we're not going to be able to get Kris on." And then an epiphany came to me. Why don't we live stream the podcast recording? And so here we are. And thank you for doing all that. You are the first in the programming, and the rest of it happens on the network and at those events throughout the month here.
I am honored that you chose me to do this today. I would say that my voice is 99%
Sounds
at
good. Yeah.
this point. I mean, I could do a voiceover, and it's like, "Hi, film at 11," or something. I could do that stuff, but but I'm glad to be back. But in that first week or so, now I recorded. This is funny. On the 14th of January, which is when that tonsillectomy was,
Mhm.
8:15 in the morning Eastern time. 7:15 or so, I recorded a liner for my internet radio station. I just recorded my voice to see what it sounded like. Just the last voice recording before the
Right
and
before
then like
the
yeah,
surgery. Sure.
and then the Saturday, the next day I could talk kind of like this and my voice was way down here and everything hurt up in here. So I recorded a liner then too. Hi, this is Kris Jones. Boy, it sounded like crap.
Well, that I my son went had his tonsils out, and it completely changed his voice for a while. So
Oh,
you're already back at it for at least in my compared to my experience. So
does it sound
yeah.
any different than it did last time we spoke, Neil?
No, no, that's what I'm saying. I agree with the
Yeah,
99%. You sound like you're right back there. So
yeah.
congratulations on that.
Thanks. Yeah.
So
What did it do to your son's voice? What
it
did it
made
do
it
to it?
a lot higher, actually. It was
Hmm.
very interesting. Yeah, it got a lot higher, but it kinda, like, came back to where it
Came back.
was,
Yeah.
and, yeah, it was yeah, well,
It was
nothing
a
you gotta worry about.
tonsillectomy. It was a tonsillectomy, and there's another organ in there.
Yep,
It starts with
yep, the adenoids.
UV.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, he got adenoids and tonsils, I believe, at the same time, so it could've been the adenoids too, yeah.
that sounds yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's
Anyway,
something, yeah, yeah. Alright, let's get back to live streaming here,
I know we can talk
huh?
about
Okay. So, yeah, why live stream? You already mentioned authenticity. Often talk about how real it is for people. I brought
yeah,
up the trust factor. Do you think
yes.
that the authenticity and trust kind of go hand in hand? Like when you're really truly being yourself? I don't know. Does that
Mhm.
help
Like you and I are right
well?
now. We just talked about tonsils
Right.
for a minute or
Yes.
so. Got a little off topic.
Just like that, right.
Uh,
Uh,
and that's what happens on a live stream. uh, um, because you never know where it's going to go. I mean, yes, you have your theme, and the theme is the benefits of live streaming, and that's such a
mhm,
great topic because people are so afraid to get on and go live. It's one thing to sit, with your phone and record something and then upload it or whatever. At least you have some steps in between where you can get over your fear. Okay, I'm going to
sure.
hit the send button now. Oh, there it goes. I look like crap. But but when you're live, people are saying, those two, or he's going live right now. I don't think I can do that because people are afraid generally to
Mhm.
go live. And then one of the things that you're talking about is how to overcome that for sure.
Yeah, well, and that is I've had this conversation a few times, with different folks, but the first time I went live, I even after being on video all the time and, like, having spoken to groups, and it shouldn't have, you know kind of ruffled my feathers, but it did, right? Like
Sure.
I was feeling more nervous than I have in a long time for that. But
What if I look like crap?
yeah,
What if I say the wrong thing? What if I do the wrong thing?
yeah, yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
I mean, it can be intimidating, but I don't know. Maybe that's more reason to do it. And it is, once you do it, it's not that hard. It's not that bad.
exactly
Yeah,
right. Because the thing to overcome the fear of something, you just got to do it. Do
right.
the thing you fear, and then you'll find that hey, that wasn't so bad. I did pretty damn good. Oh,
Yeah.
shouldn't have swore. But anyway,
Yeah.
but that's it. You just you gotta
Yeah.
do it, and it's not that
Yeah,
hard.
and once you get there, it's definitely easier. And every time you do it, I used to always say every time you do it, it gets easier. But I actually had a podcast, one of these podcasts, a couple months ago with Alex Sheridan. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but
Oh, I
yeah,
love
he's
Alex. I love Alex's stuff. He's so spontaneous. He's
and
great. I love the guy.
he gave me a different way to look at it. He says, you know, it doesn't get easier, you just get better, right? So it's more of a skill building
Mm,
viewpoint on it versus like, I don't know, the world gets easier around you, you just get better at what you're doing. And if I remember correctly, that
that's right.
wasn't his saying. So but he brought it up, so I'm going to give him the name drop
Well,
there. So
he's passing it on,
yeah,
so that's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, I follow Alex quite a bit. In fact, I'm gonna contact him directly and see if I can get him on my own podcast too, because I think he'd be great live. I'd love him live.
Yeah, he is good. We had a great conversation. Anybody who wants to can check back on smarterbusinesspodcast.com and find
All right.
his, and look forward to him on Chris's podcast
Yeah,
shortly, right?
I'll give him a call. But
I'm not his
yeah,
booking agent, so I can't say yes or
booking.
no, but give him a
Yo,
call.
yo, yo, yo,
Yeah.
Neil,
Yeah.
can you book me on a couple shows?
Yeah. But yeah, yeah. I mean, it is a great conversation. So hopefully that all
Sounds
works
good.
out there. All right, let's get back to live streaming again here. And what do you think the biggest challenges tied to live streaming are?
A lot of people think it's to the tech. I need all this. Well, fear for one thing, and we talked about the fear of
Talked
actually
about fear,
doing it.
sure.
But the next thing would be, what do I need to do that with? I mean, do I need a 1080p video camera? Do I need a 4K video camera sitting on a nice tripod, or what do I do? And really, there's no. I'll just say, really, there's no real challenge. Well, I'm sorry, there is a challenge for the first timer. But the more you do it, as you say, the better you'll be at it, the more your skills will build. And that is Alex is exactly correct with that. But the best thing to do, and we'll pick on Facebook right now. You go on your Facebook business channel, even your personal channel, and you set up a live thing, and you just turn it on. And people that tune you in are saying, "Wow, I'm afraid to go live. Look at him. Look at her. She's going live. He's going live." So, and use your phone, your smartphone, your iPhone or your Android, whatever, and just use it. So I think that the tech, a lot of people are worried about the tech part of it. They think they need something expensive to do it, and they really don't.
I think that's an excellent point, right? Like Facebook and LinkedIn and any of the social media platforms, make it YouTube, make it really easy to just do it right from your phone. And a lot of people do get hung up on it. But if you're really looking to build your own skills and get better at get better at live streaming, then I recommend, exactly like you're saying, go ahead and just do a couple quick ones, whatever's top of mind or something that's important that's happening, and start to build up that confidence and that skill set. Yeah, excellent. Any other
Absolutely.
challenges? So tech and uh, fear of being on camera. Have you found any challenges in your own space, right? Like something that didn't work out the first couple times you did it or anything like that? It's okay to say
Um,
no. Be like, "No, I was born
I'm
doing this."
trying to think. I'm trying to think of something. No, I primarily use. I primarily you're on OBS, and I think I'm going to
Mhm,
investigate how you do this on OBS. I use StreamYard,
mhm.
and StreamYard to me has been a gold mine. Because you can, I don't know, you can bring in 10 people at once if you want. I suppose you could on this too, right? I mean, as many as you really want.
So
And you can display the chats on the side if you get
yeah,
comments. Um, I will tell you one of the challenges is on live streams. Sometimes I forget. It's just a mental thing with me. I sometimes forget to watch comments. People will be commenting on LinkedIn or Facebook
right.
or Twitter, and I'll just like forget it. It's like, and I see them 20 minutes later. I'm like,
That reminds me, I should
and then they're gone by the time I
yeah, let
answer
me
it.
let me let me take a real quick look at the comments. You keep going, Chris.
Okay, yeah, that was it. And I
Yeah,
just like to answer.
yeah.
I do a lot of when I do lives. I do a lot of I do some health chats. It's not always about video.
Mhm.
But the idea of live streaming is what we're talking about. So I do health chats once in a while because I'm involved in a company where I'm taking a few things to I want to live to be 100 years old. That's my goal.
Okay,
You
excellent.
know, and not 100 like, oh, I'm in bed, I can't move.
Right.
I want to be an act. I want to be
Yeah.
driving my car around and playing video games when I'm 100.
Okay, alright.
With
I
my
like
son,
that.
with my son, with my son who'll be 70 then when I'm 100.
Okay.
Come on, I'm gonna kick your butt in Twisted Metal 2 on the PlayStation.
Yep.
Whatever. But where am I going with all this?
Yep, yes. So, yeah, I mean, we were just talking challenges of live streaming, but,
Yeah.
yeah, doesn't sound like there are too many, and you were early, especially on LinkedIn, to getting
Mhm.
after the live streaming. Do you think that helps put you in kind of a better position going forward to either do more of it, or did it help your brand or anything like that?
I think it does help the brand. I will use the word personal brand. I think it does help my personal brand in the fact that if I'm promoting myself as a video person and telling stories and producing videos for companies, entrepreneurs and just people in
Mhm,
general, I live video is certainly a part of that. And the more time goes on, there are two things that we need to watch for, I think, in 2022, two major marketing things. One, voice. Okay, I'm getting to a point here. Voice, like Alexa, do something for me. Alexa, find me a plumber. Alexa, do this, and Google do that, or Siri do this. Voice is the thing. You gotta have, like, I have an internet radio station that Alexa, play personal favorites now, and it'll
mhm,
play it just like that. So if you can do that with your business, Alexa, find me a plumber. Joe's Plumbing, Joe the plumber. Remember
yeah,
that? Joe the plumber on Main Street in Detroit, Michigan, and you live next to them, so that's good. The next thing that is equally as important or more will be video, because people are on their phones and they'll scroll by a video, and if it doesn't have captions, forget it. They're just going to go by, because most people have phones are on silent, like on Facebook. You're scrolling through on Facebook, and it's just videos are there, and you got to have something compelling. So yes, video, and if it's a live video that's going on, you're notified. So live streaming is great. Video, produced video would probably be a close second
mhm.
to that. So
Excellent.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Those are two huge kind of growth areas. And yeah, live video more so than anything. So, or that's what we're talking about today anyway. So,
yeah.
yeah, I guess um, next question that I have, I asked about challenges with live streaming. What do you have any successes yourself that you'd like to call out? Like, I don't know, reaching a certain person, or reaching a business goal tied to live streaming, or just having a really compelling live stream once that you thought really was good.
I I with a group of people, a networking group called Ripple Effects.
Okay.
They're based in the Albany, New York area, and I did a marketing live stream for them once with a PowerPoint presentation, all kinds of engagement. I loved that.
Nice.
In fact, I should do one of those again because I had the PowerPoint thing going, and I had comments on this side of the screen, and PowerPoint. I have 2 or 3 screens here, and it just flowed well. People were asking questions, I was answering them, and more questions would come up. And if I might do a second one, a lot of those health chats that I do, I used to do them weekly on Thursday. We cut them back a bit recently, but they'll be coming back. Everything took a break in
Hmm.
January. Everything I
Right.
did, everything I do. But we get a lot of questions about diabetes and health and this and that's on the live stream, and so those are I consider a couple of major successes. So
Nice.
live streaming more so than produced video.
Yes.
I mean, yes, in LinkedIn you can upload a video from your desktop up to 15 minutes long. You can, but you don't get nearly sometimes anyway. You don't get nearly the engagement that you would on a live stream.
Well, let me come back to what you said there about getting questions and so on that were health related. Do you feel like you can kind of drum up more of that type of interaction? Like, do people feel like they're in a conversation with you, so they're
Mhm.
more willing to put out a question and get an
Oh yeah.
answer right then and there?
Yes, that is the case.
Okay.
In the case of the health chat, one person said she was a type 2 diabetic
Hmm.
and I'm not the complete health expert. I had some guests on that are very good,
Sure.
registered nurses, health coaches, all of that. I was just the facilitator with the video, all the tech stuff, and I was learning as I went as well. But these 2 women were answering questions, health questions from this one person mostly, very engaged, and we ended up trying to contact her later, and
Excellent.
um, so yeah, so
Well, that
worked
and
out.
I guess that comes back too to something I mentioned early in the this podcast, which is it gives you a chance, right? As a person who's responding, so those health experts you were on with, they can respond in a way that proves that they're experts in their field versus
Yes.
like, a really well researched, manicured um, response. They just right off the top of their head, I know my stuff. Here's what I
Mhm.
think about that. And or
Yeah.
I've got to look further into it. It's always a reasonable
Put it this way,
response.
they're
But
not
yeah,
looking up something on a phone
right.
trying to, okay, what,
which
I mean,
is
yeah,
which I think is super important to the whole, expert status trust factor that
yo,
comes
trust.
with all this stuff. If you can just answer questions that come from your audience. So that's
Mhm.
that is excellent. I'm going to give one last any last thoughts on live streaming, and then we're going to kind of round out our podcast here with a couple more just basic questions.
I'm gonna say if you're considering live streaming and you're looking for a new way to promote your business and you've heard about video and you just don't have time or you're busy, of course you are. You're making money, you're running your business. I mean, that's why you're there. I mean, that's what you do, that's your passion. But you recognize that you need to do some video and some marketing to further the reach, so to speak. Just pick up your phone, whatever phone you got, go on your whatever your page is, whatever, and just go live. Just do it. I'm going to say just do it. Just go live is one of my things. Just do it is another one, and you'll be surprised. Even if your voice isn't, you're not everybody's a trained voice actor. Your voice might sound like this. Hi, come down here. Well, first of all, you don't say hi, my name is. You just never say that. You just say, are you looking for a way to shovel snow or whatever? Just make something up. And then you talk to their pain point. First thing you do is talk to their pain point, and then go. So I guess the basic answer to the question, after I got done elaborating on it, is
Yes.
just do it.
Just do it. All right, I love it. Well said, well said. And now I'm gonna come back to my notes again, right? No, I ask the same question to everybody who's been on the Smarter Business podcast here. It's called the Smarter Business Podcast because we're looking for ways that folks are using video primarily to make their businesses smarter. That said,
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be video in the answer. What's one thing that you've done to make your business or a client's business smarter?
Pay attention to detail with, I mean, with the video. I'm going to relate it to
Okay.
video, but it's in general, it's pay attention to detail. If you're producing a video for somebody, for a client, go through it. I mean, obviously you're editing it and you're doing it, but before you let the client see it, even the first draft, whatever, because there's always going to be changes generally. It's very rare to get it on the first take. Oh, I
Sure.
love it. Where's your money?
Yeah. If
that's
only.
that's yeah, that I don't think that's happened to
Yeah.
me ever. But just pay attention to detail, and I'm going to say that's my because the I want to say the devil, but the devil's not the right word, but you'll be appreciated more. You'll get good references, testimonials, um, by paying attention to detail. And some little thing, some little thing in the this is getting very minute, but some little thing in the corner, a smudge or something, maybe you can get it out. It may not even be noticeable, but subconsciously your client might see it. I mean, I'm digging down deep, but pay attention to
Detail.
detail.
Got
Yes.
it. Yeah, detail is
Detail.
super important. And I think that is absolutely a great way to make your business smarter. So with
Right.
that, Chris, I am going to say
Right.
thank you very much for being my guest on this first live broadcast of the Smarter Business Podcast. This podcast
Yeah.
is a place where we talk to video professionals who are finding interesting ways to grow and operate their businesses utilizing video. Chris is a great example of that. And anybody who has found the info interesting, please feel free to subscribe, share, and review this. We're on LinkedIn today, so you can put comments right on the LinkedIn live feed, or you can
Please
find
do.
us at smarter uh, businesspodcast.com for the audio or video version. So thank you very much, Chris.
It's been my extreme pleasure, Neil. You are a true professional, and I look forward to your content every week. And I'll be around again for sure, paying attention.
Awesome.
I want to live long and prosper, as I always say. Hey, he's got it.
Excellent. Have a good
Very
one,
good.
Chris. Bye
You
bye.
you too. Thanks. Bye bye.